Enthusiasm is the yeast that makes your hope shine to the stars. Enthusiasm is the sparkle in your eyes, the swing in your gait, the grip of your hand, the irresistible surge of will and energy to execute your ideas. This is a quote by Henry Ford. I chose to honor Henry Ford because he was a legendary man. Ford created his first automobile company, and his company was so successful that it still thrives today. Ford was the first American to make a Ford car. He improved the transportation methods in America, and he also created the assembly line. The assembly line was important because it made mass production easier for cars, and it also revolutionized the American industry. Henry Ford was an astonishing figure in America. First, Henry Ford created the first affordable automobile. Second, Ford created the assembly line. And third, Ford stood up for his ideals. Today, I am honoring Henry Ford. He was most well known for creating the first affordable automobile, which was the Model T. First, Ford created the first affordable automobile. According to History.com, Ford invented and assembled the first Ford car. He was always willing to make improvements when he wasn't with his family on his horseless carriage. The first automobile that he made was called the quadricycle, which looked more like a bicycle than it did a car. He wasn't happy with this, and he wanted to make even further improvements. To pay for those improvements, he sold the quadricycles. He established the Ford Motor Company in 1903, and 1 month after opening the company, the first automobile was invented, which was called the Model A, and it was assembled in Detroit. This car was made by 2 or 3 workers, and only 2 or 3 cars were made every single day. Also, according to eyewitnesses to History.com, Ford wanted to create the first affordable automobile. Ford lowered the price of his automobile so more people could afford it, so the sales increased, and even more automobiles sold. Also, it was estimated that he sold the automobile for $850. A few years after this, the price decreased again and even more sold. By 1914, Ford owned 40% of the automobile market. To review my first main point, honoring Henry Ford, he made the first affordable car, which was very popular with the American people. I will continue my toast to Ford by talking about the assembly line. Second, Ford created the assembly line. According to eyewitness to History.com, Ford was responsible for the birth of the assembly line. Workers worked on one part of the car and then had to go all the way across the other side of the plant to make a new part for that car, and then take it all the way back to the first spot to make another new piece. This was a lot of manual labor and was not ideal for the company. So Ford decided to redo the layout of the plant. He wanted the car to start on one end of the plant and then have pieces made in order so that it would, once it got to the other side of the plant, the car would be complete. Also, according to the Economics of Evolution, which was published in 2009 and written by Robert Lard and Thomas Sherritt, they found good parts on the Model T. There was people who were looking at the Model Ts in scrapyards, and they found out that the Kingpins lasted longer than the actual car. So Ford wanted to give an affordable car, but he didn't want to use cheap parts that would just break right away. And the assembly line making the money could be a factor. Since the assembly line was making more money and there was less manual labor he had to pay people to do, there was more money so he could buy expensive parts. As you can see from my second main point, Ford invented the assembly line, which changed America. The assembly line is very important because we still use it in today's society. I will finish my toast to Henry Ford by talking about how he stated his ideals. Thirdly, Ford stood up for his ideals. According to History.com, Ford stood up for his ideals. By 1936, the Ford Motor Company was the third most in sales. He didn't want to agree with the United Automobile Workers Union, even after all of his other competitors did. He wanted to make his own decisions. In 1941, Ford even considered shutting down his motor company just so he wouldn't have to agree and sign a contract with the agency. Also, according to InfoPlease Encyclopedia, Ford dealt with many controversial topics. He wrote articles against the Chicago Tribune, and the American people tried to attack him. They attacked him because he had hired Harry Bennett. Harry Bennett was a spy who was meant to intimidate union organizers. This upset many people that Ford had hired him. Ford also didn't want others to tell him what to do, and it was hard that he kept his ideals while working in the automobile industry. In sum, the third reason we are honoring this legendary man is because Ford tried to keep his ideals. In conclusion, Ford made a huge impact on today's society. Without his inventions, the cars wouldn't be as advanced as they are today. Life is a series of experiences, each one which makes us bigger, even though sometimes it's hard to realize this. For the world was built to develop character, and we must learn that the setbacks and grievances which we endure help us on our marching onward. This is another quote by Henry Ford. Ford needed motivation and to be enthused while creating the Model T. Let's continue Henry Ford's inventions and keep creating more advanced and improved automobiles. Henry Ford was an astonishing figure in America. First, Ford created the first affordable automobile. Second, Ford created the assembly line. And third, Ford stood up for his ideals. Thank you.